Heather Johnson, how are you?
I'm great, Steve. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. So you are with what some people might look at and go, huh? I know it's Gozynta.
Yes. Yes.
I've had you guys on before, and I really like, I don't know, I really like your brand and your logo. Like it's so simple and perfect, like simple in a good way.
Yeah.
So since we've already had you guys on, give us the really quick version of what is Gozynta.
Yeah. So, Gozynta, where our name came from is my husband and I co-founded Gozynta, and we were trying to think of what are we going to name this company. And we thought it was going to take hours. So we had a long road trip and we were all ready to spend it trying to come up with an idea. And we were kind of driving out the driveway, and I said, Brian, that story you told me about your grandfather having you help in the garage with him and saying, can you pass the Gozynta? And his grandfather and Brian said, well, what is a Gozynta, Pops? And he said, it's a thing that goes into here. And I was like, that's the story. I mean, That's it. We make software that makes your information goes into the places it needs to. So at that time, we had Mobius, which was our product that we branched off our company based on, which is an accounting integration that moves things from ConnectWise Manage to QuickBooks Online. So invoices, expenses, procurement, and then payments coming back from QuickBooks Online. We just launched last week Gozynta Payments, which is like, we're so excited about it. And that's kind of competing with Connect Booster and YSync. So we're joining that game. And we also have Tixt, which is a text to ticket integration just for Manage right now, but we're getting a lot of demand for other PSAs as well.
That is so cool. So yes, I think you will continue to get demand for other PSAs because let's be honest, there's other games in town besides ConnectWise Manage, right?
Sure.
So there's Autotask PSA, Halo PSA is the one that I think at the end of this year is going to become really exciting for people, just because toward the end of this year they plan on lowering their minimum 10 user thing. So, as they continue to lower that, it's, and continue to allow smaller and smaller companies, it's just going to make more and more sense for you guys to be able to work with a tool like that. And then there's, Synchros and Ateras of the world and all the, there's so many. Well, do we even need a PSA? Could we use your tools without it?
Well, that's actually what we're going towards. This upcoming year, we're working on having payments so that you can accept payments without having a PSA. So that is where we are heading. We don't. You need to get paid, and let's make it easier, and let's not make it tied to having a hefty piece of software so that you can make your own invoice and then get that out and get paid.
Excellent. So I want to take just a few minutes and talk about Tixt because this is a neat little software. And again, I know that this is, at least you advertise it as a ConnectWise only thing. Is this coming to other platforms?
We have a lot of Autotask customers. We have that are on a kind of waiting list for it. It is not our where our focus is right now is payments. We are a small mom and pop software shop, so that's where we're putting our efforts at right now. But again, us people that are using other PSAs, let us know, because obviously if we have hundreds of people ready to subscribe to Tixt for something else, we're going to be changing our focus. But yeah.
Well, I gotta say, I just love the concept. If you guys go to the Tixt page on Gozynta.com, it's just really refreshing to see that you guys have made it so simple for people to get text message updates for their tickets. And I know that not only the customer can get it, but I believe you can also have the tech get it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can add them on as a resource with their cell phone number. And the whole conversation goes between the customer and the technician, but the whole history of it stays on the ticket. So you're not out of the loop. Before I came to Gozynta, I worked at a company that had an MSP before I even knew what an MSP was. And, that technician gave me their personal cell phone number because, there were times that I needed to get in touch with him faster. And that to me was the best way to communicate because I was always on the run. A funny thing is that I didn't realize he was getting married and I texted him like right while he was preparing to walk down the aisle. And the guy was wonderful. He messaged me back. He's like, oh, I'm going to let someone else know because I'm actually getting married right now, which I felt terrible about. But this kind of takes that out of it because you can still have the customers text their technicians. Well, you can also reassign it to another technician if they are walking down the aisle. They don't have to stay on that ticket forever.
That's so great.
Yeah. And the other thing about Tixt is it's like 10 or 15 minutes at tops if you're really particular about your picking your inbound number to set up. When we went to IT Nation the first year after launching Tixt, some of our users were like, we love Tixt. It's just stupid simple. And that's what we love about it because it is. It just does what it's supposed to do. And that's communicate with your customers where they're at.
So looking at the website, it does look like, and maybe you have a secret price somewhere, but it looks like right now it's annual pricing, $50 a month, so $600 a year, if my math is correct.
Yep.
And with that, you get the inbound phone number. So it's a different number than your current business number.
It is. It is in the same area code, though, however, and that's one inbound number that you need per service board. Sometimes we have people that will have multiple service boards and they'll want different inbound numbers. Very rare case, though. That's sometimes if they want a service board that's for white glove service, they'll have a separate one.
Sure.
You have the one inbound number. And then when a customer texts that number, and it can be in that same area code, they'll get a message back. This is your ticket number. It was received. You're going to hear back from another number. Now we have a pool of numbers that we use to communicate with the customers because the reason is if they text in again, you're going to have a whole bunch of tickets to keep track and the customer to keep track on one text number. So we separate it by a text number per ticket so that they can have multiple issues open at the same time.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, there is also monthly pricing. It is $70 a month. And for your listeners, they get 2 months free. And so it's code RocketMSP, no space. So go to the monthly plan and then put in RocketMSP. And I think in total you get it for 3 months because we give you 1 month anyway. So
very cool.
Give it a good spin.
I love that. So unlimited tickets, unlimited texting, unlimited contacts.
Yes.
$600 a year, or if you want monthly, that's an option as well.
Yes. And there's one more thing. We have also bulk SMS. So you can take your contacts from ConnectWise. And if there's an outage where you can't email them all, you can send them a quick bulk SMS that says, we know there's an outage, email's down, we're working on it. So you don't have that mass confusion of how do we contact people and how do we get in touch with everybody. That's
awesome.
A great feature. I mean, Some people just use it just for that. There was a Microsoft outage at one point that I just put, Tixt does do this. And I had 4 people sign up right then. Well, I was on the couch watching a movie, and I just said, here's the link, sign up. And they notified their customers within 10 minutes of the outage and me telling them about Tixt, signing up, and then sending out the message.
That is so fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. So yeah, and it doesn't have to just be a Microsoft outage, right? It could be Spectrum or whoever your cable provider is, or internet provider is down for the city. I remember, gosh, it was probably 15 years ago now. There was a pipe burst in Cleveland, and it took out like a major, I don't even know who it was because I was low man on the totem pole working at another IT company. But I just remember a pipe burst and it took down the internet for like a huge chunk of the Cleveland area. So this would have been great to be able to like shoot a text message to all of the clients and say, hey guys, we know the internet's down, a pipe burst. So even if we call your internet provider, there's nothing we can do because it's taken down not just Spectrum, but AT&T and Windstream and all the other ones because they all go down the same pipe. It was like the backbone to Cleveland from somewhere else. So I think they've since then improved their infrastructure. So that way they've got more than one backbone coming in. But yeah, back then it was mid 2000s. They just, I don't think they really thought about that kind of stuff, especially with, everyone leasing off somebody else.
Right.
So love that. Love Tixt. But I think what everybody is really excited about, we've got some people that were, I don't even know that anyone was ever truly thrilled to have to spend money on a platform to do something that MSPs feel that the PSA should already do for you. Okay. Yeah. So like Mobius, right? Or WiseSync or Connect Booster. And I think there's a few others out there, but we don't need to get into them, but, a lot of people were with Connect Booster that I know, and something happened. I don't even remember because it's been a minute, right? So what was it? Pricing went up dramatically.
Expired contract or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't matter for one reason or another. These people have decided to do a mass exodus from one platform. And they started going to other platforms. And one of the platforms that I heard people going to, I'll name names. I'm not scared. It's not you saying bad things. And I'm not even saying bad things. I'm just repeating what I've heard, WiseSync got, like, let's just say they got inundated, right? They had a bunch of people sign up. And I think having all those people sign up at once made it so that the onboarding experience was taking a little longer than people expected. And, just it's what it is, right? So now I think there's people out there that all these people switched from Connect Booster to WiseSync or maybe something else, and they may just have a bad taste in their mouth from this new platform that kind of started off rough. What was it like for Mobius when, because did you guys have like that mass exodus from Connect Booster into your platform as well?
Well, so we love both teams for WiseSync and Connect Booster. I think we're the vendor community is always very tight, and it's always rough to hear trouble that WiseSync is going through troubles as well, because we're all small and medium businesses, and all of a sudden an event like that puts it's an unexpected tax on a system. So we feel for them going through that. Connect Booster often sent people to Mobius for a more complete sync tool. So we did have a lot of Connect Booster customers that did end up switching. Some of them also held out because we were about to release payments. Now, we have been working on payments for a while. This isn't something that we just, happened to release at this time of disruption in the industry for payments. We've been working on it for over a year, and then it was like, whoa, okay, wow, all of this is happening. But one of the things is we wanted to make sure that our product was a great product that we stood behind. It is not the same as Connect Booster and WiseSync and WisePay at this time. what Gozynta Payments is, and it has its own differences as well. This is a white labeled way to accept payments from your customer. So when you use Mobius to sync, because you do still need Mobius standard subscription, it will send the invoice, that manage invoice that everybody loves, that PDF of that manage invoice. And so it sends a PDF attachment of that invoice and a link to pay. And that email comes from the MSP's domain name. So it's not like, MSP name at somethingelse.com, which here you're trying to teach all of your customers not to click unknown links and then you're sending unknown links to pay. This is from your MSP's domain name. We worked so hard on that because anything with email and programming, it's a mess. But this is where we really wanted to do this right and different. So it comes from your email domain name, which looks great for the MSP because, gosh, you have your own payment system. Awesome. That's really awesome. So the email comes, you have a link to pay for the invoice with that attached PDF. They click that, of course, branded with logos, with your own MSP's logos, everything that you would want on there showing it's coming from you. The customer clicks on the link. That link goes to your domain name. It doesn't go to redirect somewhere else. And you're on a page with the amount to pay. You can pay by credit card ACH. Has your logo at the top of the page. They get their confirmation with your logo on the page, and you're set. It then syncs back to QuickBooks Online as paid, and then goes back to Manage. This upcoming year, we're also doing a customer portal. We know that having an automatic payment system, we don't want to be chasing down customers to pay every month. We know everybody wants to have that automatic payment. So that's going to be coming in the near future. That's one of our next releases. That's already designed and ready to happen. So
that's
exciting.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I want to break this down for the folks. So Mobius is, I'm going to call it a separate product from payments, even though payments kind of is I'll call it an attachment, a bolt-on for Mobius. So you need both products for people to use Gozynta Payments. Eventually you may offer payments separate, but for right now, it's just easiest for you guys, again, as a small, we don't want to call you a mom and pop, a very custom boutique software company for MSPs. It just makes more sense for you to build it in a way that's fast and efficient for not only your team, but for the MSPs that are signing up for things.
Very true. And we're proud of being a mom and pop shop. How many MSPs out there are mom and pop shops?
You're right.
We one of our big things here for Brian and I when we developed this company was that we wanted to have empathy at the core. Before we started the company and we were dating, our dates were helping small and medium businesses get their start for, just giving free business advice. It's what we love to do. Brian and I are not the top paid people at our company. We don't do this because we're trying to get rich. We have what we need. We don't want extra. We just want enough, and we want to help other small and medium businesses succeed. I'm the vice president of the National Society of IT Service Providers and the committee liaison there. So I spend about 7 to 10 hours a week helping with the legislation part of this and helping to get some organizations so MSPs have a voice. That has nothing to do with me selling Mobius or anything else. I just love this community. Brian and I are really dedicated to help these other small, medium businesses succeed.
That is really cool. And the fact that you make it clear, not only do you want to help people succeed, but it's okay to start a business to make money, but you're also saying, look, we don't have to be the smartest people at the company. We're okay hiring people and paying them more than we're making, because as long, you're taking care of yourselves, but you're also taking care of your employees, which is really great.
Yes, absolutely. We want all of our employees to be happy, well paid, have the time to rest. Mental health is very important, both with, I talk a lot in the industry about mental health and taking time for yourself. And I keep that, of course, within our company and our culture.
Good for you. I've spoken in the past about mental health. I don't remember what episode off the top of my head, but if I think of it, I'll send it over to you, because I think you and I might think very similarly on that.
Mm.
So let's look at the pricing here. So for Mobius, this is really cool. You have a free version.
Yes. And the free version is because of helping MSPs just starting out. You have that situation where you just, paid a whole bunch for ConnectWise Manage. And as you said, sometimes it's not clear that you need that separate sync tool. And we don't want to, we want people to grow. So to be able to have that relationship and help them start to build their business, first off, they become future customers much of the time as they grow, but then we can help them as well. We're right there for them.
And so you've got a light version, and then you've got the standard version. And I mean, between all of them, free does have some limitations,
yes.
because it's free. Be happy. And it's not, it's 50,000 a month of invoice sync. Like, that's a lot, right? That's 600,000 in revenue a year for free.
Right.
So like, we're not even talking about the small struggling MSPs. We're talking about usually at more than $500,000, a healthy MSP.
Right.
And then once we get into light or standard, unlimited invoices, gosh, I saw it was easier up here. Unlimited invoices, unlimited expenses, payments, even unlimited QuickBooks companies, which is, I think, a very unique thing. I don't know that I just don't know that any other company offers that.
I don't think so. I can't speak definitively, but I think we're the only one. The other thing is our support that comes with it. We do have optional onboarding. We're the only sync tool that does optional onboarding. The reason why is I'm not technical. So when I came to the company, I looked at our user guide and was like, I don't get it. So I was I took the time to kind of tease it apart and make it make sense for me so I could set it up. And then I had our 4 kids set it up, not knowing Manage, not knowing QuickBooks Online, and not knowing our system. And once they were able to do it, of course, I'm sure they're more technical than I am. But as soon as I had that user guide in a way that I felt like, here, this is how to set it up and this is how to understand our product, they don't need the onboarding. But it is also there if there's more hand-holding that's needed.
Sure.
So,
and then the standard version is where you can start to bolt on things like payments. They also have automatic vendor creation, classes, locations, multi-currency, and standard is where you offer auto sync. Whereas the other two, it looks like you got to log in and hit a button.
Yes, which it takes 3 seconds. It's logging in and hitting a button. It's really not a huge process at all. The thing is, set it and forget it. Who doesn't want that? If there's ever an issue, it will email you that says, you do need to log in because there is an error and something didn't sync. But once you're set up correctly, that doesn't happen too much. And our support team also is amazing. And we've really hired for that. It's a very empathetic support team. We also spent a year trying to make our error messages not frustrating. You get something and it's like, what does this mean? So we took a year and looked at what are the errors that come up the most, and let's just fix them. And then let's link the set of issues. Let's link to a knowledge base article. We try to make it so that the customer can easily fix it by themselves. However, a Seek and Audra, this is like, you get to know these people. People who are on our work with our support team love talking to them. And, Brian and I hop in from time to time because, it's family owned. I've answered support emails while I'm cooking dinner. It's just, that's what you get when you deal with a family company. You get to know the family.
You wash your hands after, right?
Yes. Yes, we don't want to cross-contaminate dinner.
No, yeah, definitely not with support.
No.
So here's the part where I'm going to call it some gotcha questions.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to ask you about the payments processing charges. So I know there's, payments costs money. It's not something that you're magically giving out for free. So there's a monthly service fee. There's a PCI compliance fee. There's an annual regulatory fee.
Mm.
Is there more regulation than PCI compliance? Why don't we just...
So we right now have our own processor called MPI processing. So these fees are their fees that they have right now. We are looking in the future, very near future within this year, of a bring your own payment processor, or also looking at Stripe, which has also very low fees. So we're looking at some additional options.
That's great.
Yeah, this from all of my research, I looked really hard at what model to do because I really wanted it to be simple, like a standard 3%, whatever, standard percentage. What I found out was that is the way for us to make more money because there's some credit cards that are very low percentage. So an interchange plus model, while it's more confusing, MasterCard and Visa, if you look at our links, we have some examples of, it's like hundreds and hundreds of different store cards of Visa. And each one of them has a little bit of a different percentage based on, frequent flyer miles and everything else. They all have a different arrangement. So if we do an interchange plus model, we end up sending the savings to our customers, which is actually what we want to do. We could make much more if we put a flat 3%, because then those lower ones, we would get all of that. So I decided to do it this way because, again, I'm always trying to save money for the customer.
Sure. And then the nice thing is, you guys have to be able to make some money here. So the transaction fees, so there's the 25 cents per item and then the 0.35% per item. How much of that goes to the processor you're using versus you get to keep?
We get a small percentage. I think it's like 0.1. It's not a huge amount. But
once you start, once you look at the fact that you're processing, who knows, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or whatever every month,
right?
That adds up.
It does.
It's just like that movie Office Space. You just take a fraction of a penny. You just
yeah. I mean, again, that's why the other models that were offered to us, it was like, oh yeah, we would make more, but this is good for us, and to get more people on our standard plan, that's helpful as well. So for us, it stays consistent with who we are as a company.
That's great. Now, I was with a company that I won't name. It wasn't you or any of the big companies. I was with a company, and I'm pretty sure it was like one guy that wrote the code and supported it and everything. And he had, again, like Office Space, he had a slight error in the code, and it processed one of my client's cards 86 times one day.
Oh,
so it was, I don't even know the number of times it processed, but I know that it hit their credit card, American Express, for like $96,000.
Oh my goodness.
And needless to say, that customer, super not happy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They stayed a customer. They no longer allowed me to process their stuff automatically, but they stayed a customer. So for the very small number of MSPs that have ever experienced this or maybe even worried about this, like what kind of checks and balances do you guys have in place when it comes to making modifications to the code and testing it and whatever else before implementing it live?
That's a great question. And it's one of the things I can speak of really proudly because of course I'm more on the business side and I want things out like payments. I want it out like January, but the testing and built-in testing. So Brian is really focused on the safety of our code, making sure there aren't failures. So we have a team of 5 developers, and our code, when we rebuilt Mobius on the new API for ConnectWise, we took great care in making sure that we had backup testing built in so that everything was notified. There were fail safes on things. It was a really rigorous process. And at some points I was like, we can't charge more for this, but it is to prevent those kind of things that happen. And when we were getting ready to release payments, we then went through and tested and double tested and made sure that the safeguards were there. So things like that can't happen because, we've been trusted with financial data for 10 years now with Mobius, and we're really proud of that. And we really pride ourselves on earning trust. And that is so important with us. And with payments, we can't soil that. So that was a prime thing, is that we can't screw this up. So it was 4 months of testing after building in the testing every single step of the way of building this add-on.
Very good. Very, very good.
There's one other thing I forgot to mention about their Intuit has, to be listed in their marketplace, has a really rigorous security review. It took, I think it took us 18 months to go through it. They went through every tiny little bit of code, had us tweak things. And we are the only managed integration that has the Intuit security review or approval. So that is a real badge of honor for us because we work so hard on it, and it's really exciting to have.
If you have that,
yes,
where is it on the website?
That is true. We have it in our blog, and I will send you
the worst place for it.
It is. I know you have to read our whole blog. Yeah, that is a great suggestion, and we have it in some of our Google advertising, but I am going to put that on our website today.
That should be on like the Mobius or the payments or both.
Right.
I think that's something that really needs to be, like front and center for everyone to see.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
All right. Let's see. What other gotcha questions can I ask? So you said you have employees. You've got you and Brian. How many employees do you guys have?
Currently, we are at 8 employees.
Including you and Brian, or
including Brian and myself? Yes.
Okay.
We're completely remote. And all over, which is great. And we actually just opened up Gozynta BV, which is in the Netherlands. So we are now expanding to Europe because Brian and I are moving to the Netherlands.
Are you serious?
Week. Yes, on Wednesday.
Why? Why would you do that?
Well, we really, it's focusing on quality of life, and it's something we've always wanted to live in Europe. We will be back here for conferences because I speak at a lot of them. So we will be traveling back and forth, but we want to get rid of the cars and just have bikes and travel around and just, enjoy what the world has to offer and not just wait for some other day when we want to fulfill one of our bucket list things. Yeah.
That is so cool. All right. So Where in the Netherlands are you guys moving to?
So Haarlem, it is 10 minutes from Amsterdam, a 10-minute bike ride from the ocean, from the North Sea. It is an adorable city. It's called Little Amsterdam. We're 4 blocks from the main square where the cathedrals and all of the cheese carts and everything are. It is stunningly gorgeous. I mean, it is such a dream come true for us. And it's and to be able to be in, in the European side of things and work more with some European MSPs. We have some, but want to get more involved in that community.
So I have some very good friends that, man, it feels like forever ago, but I think it's only been a year. They moved to Romania.
Wow.
Yeah. So the husband is like from Romania. He moved from Romania to the States when it was still USSR.
Wow.
So, he's always been kind of homesick. I mean, he moved when he was like 12, 13, but he's been back and he just loves it there. And I'm like super excited for them while like missing them terribly at the same time.
Oh, I bet.
But that, like, the thought of doing that terrifies me. Not because of any of the things going on, okay? It's because I've got that fear that, like, when people are talking and I can't understand what they're saying, that they're saying something completely unwarranted fears, not.
Yeah, probably. A lot of the Dutch, I think 90% of the Dutch people actually speak English.
Okay.
So when Brian and I have been learning Dutch for 2 years,
So you're even going to be able to speak the language a little bit. At least enough to ask what time it is, where's the bathroom, and place an order, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're really dedicated to kind of really integrating into society, and it's just kind of like, it's one of those things we always dreamed about. And then during COVID, it was kind of like, hey, why don't we just do this? And now it's here.
And I've been looking at Google Earth and I found Haarlem. Without searching. I just like to look at the map and see what I can find. That's only 10 minutes from Amsterdam?
Yeah, 10-minute train ride. Yep.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking they're getting rid of their cars, so I hope it's a walk.
Well, their train transport is so easy and affordable.
That's awesome.
You can really go anywhere in the country within 2 or 3 hours, and it's just, I mean, it's clean and easy and comfortable, and you can, it's amazing.
Well, now, IKEA's headquarters is it pronounced Delft?
Yes.
So they're out there. Do they sell a lot of meatballs in the Netherlands?
Well, yeah, and bitterballen as well. But I am a big IKEA fan. So yeah, there is an IKEA Haarlem. I think my daughter found it was a 7-minute bike ride. So I'm pretty often getting Swedish meatballs. You're not going to be able to
get anything home on a bike.
Can you imagine? I know. I was like, they must have delivery because most everybody has a bike. Can you imagine getting like a huge, all these boxes and just strapping them to the bike?
Well, I gotta say, this sounds so cool. Are your kids like going out there with you, or?
Yes. So our older 2 are coming with us. Our younger 2 are visiting summers with us. They're staying with their birth mom, but it's really, really wicked cool. They're all excited, whether visiting or making a permanent move. It's I can't wait to see their faces when they get there, because they haven't been there. And they're just going on our excitement about it and their research. So,
and you guys have been there, right?
We went in September. Brian was 100% in this plan. And I was like, we could try it.
We can just get an extended Airbnb. Hold on a second.
I'm not ready to. We did one tag sale, and I literally was like running after my stuff. And I'm like, we need to go here before I get rid of any more of my things. I need to go.
That's amazing.
So we went for 3 weeks, and the moment we got back, I'm like, who wants all my stuff? Like,
really?
Like it was that big of a switch. I've been 100% behind this decision since I went, and yeah.
Well, I gotta say, getting over to Europe is one of my life goals, not a near goal. When my kids are a little more mature. And the Netherlands, I think, would be fantastic. I can't wait to hear what it's like for you. Maybe in a couple months, we can revisit this on a new podcast episode, just about what it's like relocating to a completely different, world. It'll feel like, and man, I bet it's going to be so cool with all that like rich culture and history. We've only got several hundred years worth of stuff that's happened on this land when it comes to like the buildings and our culture. Whereas these other countries, I mean, they've got hundreds or thousands of years worth of history and culture and architecture and everything else. And that's just so much fun for us. Nobody wants to see us like on a beach, right? Like me and my wife. So my wife, I'd love to see on a beach, but me, nobody wants to see that. So, we went north for our honeymoon, and we ended up on a cruise ship with a bunch of old people.
Oh, that's so fun. What cruise ship did you go on?
We did a Carnival, but we went to, we did a New England cruise. So we left from New York, we hit Boston, and then we did an excursion in there with like the Salem witch trial stuff, because that and then we went to Portland, Maine, and then we went somewhere in Canada. I don't remember. It had the reverse falls, like the reversing waterfalls.
Oh my goodness.
It was really neat. But it was also like a very industrial area. But then we also went to Halifax. So it was just so much fun we had going there, and just seeing, I mean, even different parts of the country. It's so fascinating. Yeah. Like going from Cleveland area up to like, Boston and Maine, like, they've been there since the 1600s, 1500s, right? Right. Actually building, whereas in Cleveland, we've maybe only got 250 years of culture, right? So I love seeing that kind of stuff. It's so much fun for us. But I do want to make sure that we can get you out of here on time. So please, come back when you guys are, in the swing of things and that kind of stuff in the Netherlands, because I'd love to hear, maybe you and Brian can both come on and we can just hear what it's like to completely, like, I don't know, maybe not completely uproot your business, but you're at least uprooting your lives. You're expanding your business, and it's just so, I mean, that's an adventure. And quite honestly, I would probably be more like Brian, and my wife would be more like you, or like, it's easy for me to just go all in without really thinking about it. And my wife just overthinks everything, right? So, but no, so great. So thank you, Heather. Is there anything else that you want to let people know about any of your products before we close out?
No, I mean, I think the biggest message I can say is that, we really do care about this. We really care about our products, our customers' experiences. It really means a lot to us. This is our heart and soul, as many people feel about their own businesses. And I think a lot of times when people think about the vendors that are out there, they're thinking that they're these huge corporations, and so many of them are small and medium businesses as well. And the other thing, if any MSPs out there are not a member of the National Society of IT Service Providers, nsitsp.org, please join. We need your voice. We need your action. There's legislation that's happening out there right now without us having any say about it, and it will just happen to us. We are trying to make change and have a voice in this conversation, and we can only do it together. So please join in that.
And NSIT, National Society of IT Service Providers. It has 2 different membership levels. They do have a free level that you can join and just be a registered member, can attend all the meetings. But if you want like full voting rights, it's only $100 a year to be a member. So check it out. Gozynta, GOZYNTA.com, or you can go to nsitsp.org, and you should go to both. Check out both.
Yeah, do both.
And then shameless plug, you should also check out RocketMSP.io and maybe sign up for all 3. We'll put that out there. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve.